Welcome back. You're watching Thailand MICE Virtual Expo, and I'm Cholapansa Narula. This is the last topic for today. Logistics in Thailand, it really matters. Economic activities have been disrupted worldwide due to COVID-19. The logistics industry is one of which that saw a slowdown in business, whether it's the affected supply chain, the demand decline, and also a looming recession. Meanwhile, e-commerce and online businesses was on the rise as delivery companies became an essential service provider. So how are these companies actually adapting effectively to respond to the changing market conditions, and how are they preparing for the upcoming recovery? Today we'll take a look at the industry through the eyes of two well-known executives in the Thai logistics sector. So we are very pleased to have two guests joining us today. Mr. Dave Liu, Director Business Operations, KERRY Express Thailand Public Company Limited, who is joining us in the studio. And also we have Kun Isriya Paireepairit, founder and editor of blognan.com, and also he's the head of public affairs, lineman WONGNAI, joining us via Zoom. So we'll begin today's discussion with KERRY Express first. So, Mr. Dave, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
It's good to have you here, and in the last session for the day. As you're working for one of the biggest logistic organizations here in Thailand, we'd like you to give us an overview of the logistics business. Since the pandemic struck, how are things?
I see. For COVID-19, I think after the COVID-19 situation, everything is changed worldwide, especially in Thailand. Then to us, as last mile delivery sector of the e-commerce industry, we also see the changes of the whole country or the whole industry. Then we see, first of all, for the size of the shipments, everybody ship bigger size of the shipment after the COVID situation. And the reason why, since early last year, and there were some progressive measures launched by the government here in Thailand for the lockdown measures. Then the people is not allowed to travel across the province. So in order to deliver their goods or to support their friends, relatives, then they send the parcel everywhere in Thailand. So that's why for the size of the parcel, it is from the small size to the medium size and the big size. Then this is the first observation that we can see in Thailand. Then for the second thing that we have observed is there are many online sellers that originally they are not selling online before. Because of the lockdown measures here in Thailand, and it changes their life, unfortunately. Then in order to survive, then they need to look for new way to work here in Thailand. Then we see there are some sectors of the people, they have changed from offline to online. Then no matter if they are selling in the platform or the social media, we see they're switching their career from offline to online. Then for KERRY Express, we have been here for more than 15 years, so we support them. We also encourage them to sell more online with our offline network and also with our last mile delivery network. Then the last thing that we see the change is for the delivery pattern. Then after the lockdown measures, then I see there are so many enterprises. The companies, they have launched work from home. Then most of the companies, if they can work from home for the office staff, then they work from home. Then previously when they order online in platform or social media, then most likely they will ask the delivery company to do the delivery to their office instead of their condo or their home. Then after the work from home, we see that because they are working from home, so there's no point for them to ship the parcels to their offices anymore. So we see the pattern for the delivery is also changed from the center of the Bangkok, let's say for the example, that because of work from home, people, they are going back home in upcountry or the outskirts of Bangkok. Then when they are moving back home, then they still order online or they even order more because of the COVID situation. Then for our delivery, we still continue. We need to support them. Then we do the delivery from home instead of doing from office, and then we do the delivery to home. So this is some kind of changes that we see in our industry that we also need to adopt according to the situation that we change our last mile delivery network accordingly.
I see.
So I see this is some of the changes here in Thailand
So
that
it looks
we can
like
share
the
with you.
overall logistics sector saw a decline, but your business grew. What was growth like last year during COVID?
I see, I can share with everybody that we had a record high last year in terms of parcel volume delivery. Then it is good that we can support the country during the difficult time. Then we are very proud of being one of the supporters to support the country to continue growing in this difficult time.
And when customers turn to KERRY Express as one of the main logistics networks in having their daily essentials delivered to them, what about the unprecedented challenges? Because, I mean, overall we hear the disruption in the supply chain and things like the speed and delivery, things like that. Was it a challenge for you?
Yes. Actually, what I just mentioned for the changes of the whole delivery pattern, actually it is also a challenge for us because originally for our setting, for our setup, it is built for years according to our big data internally. Then we do some simulation for the potential growth of the volume. Then unexpectedly, because of the COVID situation, the delivery pattern changes. Then for our delivery last mile hub, then we also need to change. For example, just now I mentioned that the people are moving from the center of the Bangkok to elsewhere, to upcountry, to outskirts of Bangkok. Then our delivery network for the last mile delivery hub, we also need to adapt to those changes. Then we move along with the cargos together. So we also adjusted our last mile delivery network immediately. And I can also share with you that there were some big challenges, especially during the earlier period of the COVID situation. I recall the memories would be in March or in April last year.
That you mentioned that the speed of delivery in so many countries
should be the year before last, right?
took like at least 2 weeks to have the parcels delivered. But the case was different in Thailand. You were telling me earlier.
Yeah, it's different.
It's because of our measures?
Yep. I think for Thai government, this time it is doing a very good job. I think not only for the Thai government, but everybody here in Thailand, for all the Thai citizens, I think everybody worked together very closely in order to fight the virus. Then for us, because of these measures, progressive measures, then it can help us to maintain the stable service in Thailand. So this is one of the reasons that I've heard from my friend. They share with me that Thailand is the most fortunate countries during the COVID situation, and we have been doing a very good job because of everybody. Yes.
Well, thanks to our government. It looks like the situation is improving. We have vaccines being rolled out in so many countries, and the cases have declined as well. I believe that the industry is doing better. What's the general sentiment of the logistics service provider?
To us, we see that the growth is there. I can also share that last year, if it is in this industry for the last mile delivery, I think we can be beneficial for this because of the COVID situation. Then people, they tended to order more online, especially during the lockdown period. Shopping mall is not open. Then they need to order something to maintain their daily life. Then they go more online. So this is one of the factors that helping us to grow last year. And for the cross-border sector, for our KERRY freight, then I think we are also doing quite good because, during this period for some essential materials, then we still need to support everywhere in the world. Then so I think for cross-border and also for the domestic last mile delivery, we are doing quite good last year.
Now, to cope with the challenges, well, obviously for KERRY Express, the business is on the rise for you, but then again, to prepare for business growth, what are your strategies? Do you have to have many major changes or reorganization in the company?
Yes, because of the change of the overall pattern, then first of all, for our offline network, we need to do some rearrangement according to the latest delivery pattern. Then this is some changes or reorganization that we have done in order to catch up in the long run for the future growth. Then more importantly, we have also developed a lot of tools or some useful products or services to help our online sellers to sell more. So we intend to make their e-commerce selling online life easier than before. So we have continuously launched a lot of services to make their online selling easier.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a bit about your customer base, the general customer, and also online sellers that you mentioned. How are they faring? Are their businesses recovering? What do you see?
We see that for B2B sector, maybe it is affecting, unfortunately. But we see for anything related to C, to consumer, no matter if it is C2C or B2C, we see in this area the growth is quite strong. And since last year, it continues to this year. We see people, maybe they have already adopted to the changes already. Previously, maybe they didn't try any online shopping before. Then now they tried because of the situation, and then they found it is very convenient, and they get used to that. Then for this kind of changes of the buyer behavior, it also helps the to-C business to grow more.
Now, what are your actually customers looking for, and what kind of experiences, better experiences, can you offer in the logistics online delivery business?
Because we have a series of the company here in Thailand. Except for the last mile delivery, we also can provide fulfillment or warehouses. Some of the sellers, actually, they also share with us that previously maybe they didn't sell, or previously they were the part-time seller. Then because of this pandemic situation, then they become the professional or the full-time sellers. Then before that, when they were very small, or when they were the part-time sellers, then they just handle everything by themselves. Then maybe it is a kind of family business, husband and wife, or maybe getting their sons and daughters involved, something like that. But when the business is going to a certain level, they find that it is overload, and they don't know how to manage their business. They see the business are coming in, but they don't know how to handle it. So one of our strengths, or one of our intentions, is to offer them the logistics service, not only in Bangkok, but everywhere here in Thailand, in upcountry, especially in upcountry actually, because we see strong growth of the sellers in upcountry. So this is something that we can support them.
I see. So is this model actually used only here in Thailand, or in fact in all your networks across the region?
Yes, actually across the regions. But because for our business unit, we are KERRY Express, then we are focusing in domestic. Then I also can share that everywhere they have their own practice, or they have their own pattern domestically, even for the e-commerce selling online. Then in general, we have some common tools to share to everybody in KERRY Express network. But in general, in our own country, we have our own developers to really develop some useful services or tools that we can help the local sellers to sell more. So it should be like overall alignment of the system, and also the fine-tuning according to the local business.
Now, since you're one of the biggest players having networks covering the region, would you kindly compare the logistics industry in Thailand to other overseas markets? Okay.
For this, we see Thailand is still young and energetic. That means a big room for us to grow. Because when compare to other countries in the region or in Asia, we see that actually maybe in terms of, let's say, for the parcel volume per capita, it is 3 to 4 times less than other countries in Asia. That means actually for our parcel volume per capita, there are 3 to 4 times room for us to grow.
So we can order more.
Order more. And because of the payment system here in Thailand is becoming more and more convenient. So it is also encouraging the people to online shop more.
So obviously Thais are going more for online shopping. The e-commerce business is growing, as we discussed earlier. So it's a great business, but then again, we see a lot of competition in this segment as well. Is the competition becoming fiercer, intensifying in this segment?
Actually, we see the market is very big. And then, of course, everywhere there should be so many counterparts. participating in different industry. Then for KERRY, we see that there are room for everybody to grow. And more importantly, for KERRY, we hold our value. Our value is to help our sellers or our customers to grow their business. Then with our useful tools, with our useful service and products, we believe that this is the unique service that we can deliver to the market. Then our network or our spirit is to make sure that KERRY is the one to keep improving every year. And then to make sure that 5 years later, 10 years later, you will still be very happy to use KERRY.
Now, being in the industry for so many years, what do you think are the strengths of Thailand in growing the logistics business?
The strengths, right? Then we see Thailand for the infrastructures is very well developed. Let's say for the airport, for the seaport, even for the inland transportation, I mean for the trucking, dry port, I think it is quite mature. Then this is something that it can help us as a last mile delivery or logistics company to grow our business here. And more importantly, we see the economy here in Thailand is quite good. Then this is also one of the first factors that help the logistics company to grow, because with strong economy, then we have jobs and then we have something to deliver to everybody.
I see. So this can actually win the confidence of overseas business if they do business with us here in Thailand.
Yes.
Now, let's take a look at the ambitions of Thailand to become the logistics hub. Where do we stand right now?
I see actually for cross-border business, because we have also another business unit handling for cross-border parcel. We see for the cross-border business is becoming more and more important, and for the volume, we see the number of growth is even a lot higher than the domestic volume. So we see there are so many possibilities for Thailand to build as our regional hub, and also for the geographic locations of Thailand. I think in the long run, we are also exploring some cross-border products, mainly focusing on Thailand and use Thailand as a base, and then we do the redelivery to other countries in Southeast Asia or even to Europe.
Looking forward, what are your projections on the economic growth
For
Thailand in general? And obviously, some of the lessons learned from the crisis that happened as well to drive business forward.
I think in the long run, if you ask KERRY Express, because we are a part of the e-commerce industry, then we always talk to so many industry, the people in the same industry. Then everybody is having the positive feeling towards the e-commerce industry here in Thailand. Then we see, for example, for the online percentage, online retail percentage versus the total retail percentage here in Thailand is still very low. I read some report that it is 3.4% of the online business is contributing to the total retail business. So when compared to other countries in Asia, like in Japan, in Korea, or even in China, then we see that for the room, there are so many possibilities for us to grow.
Then again, the pandemic, people say, was a boon to the express delivery business, but will the recovery, actually impact your business?
I think
when things return to normal, that's what I mean.
Yes. I see something like this. For the e-commerce, it is a norm for this industry to grow. I mean worldwide, it's not only for Thailand, but with this COVID situation, it is helping us to boost up faster. Then we believe that even after the COVID situation, because we changes the whole pattern here in Thailand already, people getting used to shop online, to sell online. So for this industry, we see there will be some drastic growth in the next few years.
That's because the consumer's behavior has already changed.
Yes.
And they're more addicted to do online shopping.
Yep, sure.
All right, so we got to learn about KERRY and, of course, some of the interesting perspectives from Mr. Dave. Let's now go over to our guest from lineman WONGNAI, Kun Isriya, who is joining us through Zoom. And, of course, we'd like to ask Kun Isriya to please share your presentation of the business outlook, unprecedented challenges, and of course the directions to grow your business in the next normal. Isriya, please.
Hi, nice to meet you all. Okay, I think from the first pandemic, maybe in April last year, I think it is quite sudden for every one of us. And suddenly the restaurants countrywide, they were forced to close the in-store dining simultaneously. So the food delivery is their only choice for at that time. So from our business as well, we need to shuffle all most of our staffs to enroll, I think, 10,000 restaurants into our delivery system within a few days. So it is quite a spike in terms of the demand in the delivery registration. And what we learned after that, the first pandemic period is we have to improve our internal tools to be more automated. So the restaurant owners, they can apply for the food delivery system by themselves. It's like a self-service by the mobile application. If you want to sell food on Line platform, you need to use the app. It's called WONGNAI Merchant app. So you can just download this from the App Store and then registration via app. So it will be very easy. And we also improve the process of something like the uploading the document to prove yourself that before the time you need to do it via email or you need to send it by post. So now you can use the phone on your camera, the camera on your phone to just take a photo of the document and send to us. It will be a lot easier. For this year, the second outbreak in January, we are better prepared for this kind of the spike. And so many aspects are smoother than the first time we faced the pandemic. And as you know that some province in Thailand that was identified into a red state province like Samut Sakhon or Samut Prakan, and we got our order maybe growth like 3 times in some province. That's the what we got affected by the COVID-19 pandemic.
I see. So how is business faring today? And how do you intend to grow your local operations?
Yes, the after the pandemic, the number of the order hasn't decreased much. I think it's like a new normal that people are getting used to order the food from app instead of going to restaurant. Now we have expanded our service area into 36 province, and we planning to expand to more province this year.
I see. Now, preparing for recovery and business growth, what are your strategies, Isriya?
Fortunately, the food delivery are in the growth state already. I think it is very rare compared to other industry during the COVID time. So what is the main problem of us is the limitation of the supply, especially the supply of the food riders in small province, which it's very hard to find a good food delivery rider than Bangkok or the large province like Chiang Mai or Korat.
Mm-hmm. So how do you intend to overcome that challenge?
Yeah, we need to do a ground operation in each province. In some large scale province, we have the full-time staff is like a city manager in each province to improve the situation of the rider recruitment. I think the situation is differ from province to province. In some province, we have more rider than we need, and in some province we have fewer.
What is the traffic like currently when it comes to food delivery? Has it picked up
Yeah.
since the second outbreak, or was it doing well in the first outbreak and the second outbreak?
You mean the normal food industry for the in-store dining, right?
The delivery business.
The delivery business, yeah, we are in the growth state.
So you didn't see your sales declining whatsoever. Business has been growing. That's what you mean.
Yeah. Is this? I think I understand that this is very rare compared to other industry.
That's great. So what do you see as promising business opportunities looking ahead?
Yes, I think as I told you before that the food industry is become the food delivery is become a new normal in Thailand, and I think it's the same everywhere around the world. So we need to do the food delivery logistic in improve the cost and efficiency, and we can do it many ways. That like we just using the software to manage our riders to pick up the food nearby them much better than before, or forecast the demand by the software.
Now, technology is key in driving businesses these days. What is your policy in tech investment?
Yeah, I think Lineman WONGNAI is the tech company from day one. WONGNAI has founded 10 years ago. That we start as a tech company, a website and mobile application that allow people to find and discover restaurant anywhere they want to go. Also, the Lineman is the service by Line Corporation. So we on and last year in 2020 we have been merged together to have the better synchronization. So I think both of us from Lineman side and WONGNAI side, we are tech company from day one.
I see. You are aiming for unicorn status by 2023. So will there be more mergers, or what will be your strategies to grow in order to reach that status? Can you share your perspective?
I think the merger last year is the big news among the Thai tech company already. So we merged it in July, and the just half a year just passed. So now we are in the phase of the integration between both sides to working seamlessly among other. And I think the next merger may be possible, but not in the near future.
I see. How do you compare the food delivery industry in Thailand to other markets across the region?
Yeah, I think it's quite the same everywhere, including in the US or in the Europe. And some of the largest food delivery company in the world, they are already listed in the stock exchange, and some has become profitable. I think it is the new normal everywhere, and we want to do the same.
Now, looking ahead, let me ask you about your projections, the growth of your business, and what have you learned from the crisis that took place in order to drive your business forward and to shape the future of the industry?
Yeah, as I told you before, we are fortunately in the high growth industry, which is very rare in the pandemic. But even if we are in the high growth industry, we also need to prepare our internal process to be more agile. We need to shift our operation maybe in just a few hours or few days if the new outbreak has coming. So like in January, that when we learn the news of the outbreak in Samut Sakhon, we need to change our operation immediately. So our process need to very agile.
And what about competition in this segment? How do you see competition looking ahead?
Yeah, I can comment on the any given competitors, but in the overall competition, I think it's very fierce. As you see on the street, you can see many players has come. I think 5 or 6 players on the street already. So the competition is very tough.
So you have to offer a better experience to your clients.
Yeah, definitely. We need to do a better choice of restaurant, better experience, better customer support, and better technology. Everything we need to optimize at our best.
Since we're at the Thailand MICE Virtual Expo, can you share your views with us about the industry and how it can play a role in growing the logistics sector?
Yeah. What is your question? Sorry.
So we're at the MICE, the Virtual Expo, so we'd like you to share your views about the MICE industry and how the logistics sector or the sector you're in can help grow business together.
Yeah, I think what I want to say is in large city like Bangkok or someone like Chiang Mai, it is not obvious, but in a smaller province, the food delivery and logistic delivery can create jobs and economic value. So even if you are the food riders or the restaurant owners, I think we contribute some level of economic activities in this area. So I think for also as the KERRY before as well, I think it should be the important industry in the future, and the government or the policymaker should be interested in to improve more situation in terms of the smaller province.
I see. Well, let me get back to Khun Dave right here, the very same question. We are, of course, part of this event, helping support the MICE industry. So in your views, how do you think that your business can play a role in growing the business together?
Oh, I see. Then for this, I think communications is the key, right? And this is a kind of a platform to let everybody to communicate and then to brainstorm and then to explore together. So I see actually for us, because for KERRY Express or KERRY Logistics, we are the strong supporter for every single business. Then whenever you need to really ship any products from one point to another point, then I think you need logistics services there. Then I see for us, KERRY Express or KERRY Logistics, it is quite important for us as well to participate in this industry so that we can communicate with each other coming from different industry so that we understand what is the growth or what is the changes of the industry so far or how is the world economy is changing. So for us, if once we have noticed there is any changes, then we are willing to adopt and we are willing to adjust ourselves in order to catch up. So I see we need to communicate more. So I think it is a very good platform for everybody to communicate better in order to fight against the COVID-19 virus or the post-COVID-19 situation. We need to work closer together.
I see. Now, in adopting and adapting to the change, technology is a key driver.
Yep.
So I'd like to ask you a bit about your technology policy in terms of investment and growing business.
Okay, for KERRY Express here, we have our local IT team here because I also share with everybody that for KERRY Express, we have our common system everywhere, but we also believe in the local intelligence, local knowledge, that we consider everywhere is different. It looks like the same, but actually somehow it's different. So we would like to adopt to the local culture and local behavior. That's why, let's say for KERRY Express Thailand here, we have our local IT team here to develop our own tools or applications, some useful services, products to our local consumer. So I also agree that this is the key of the e-commerce industry. As I mentioned earlier, we are a part of the e-commerce industry. So for the tech team, this is one of our focus. That's why we keep improving our service.
I see. What's the investment budget like when it comes to technology?
Oh, I can share with you a huge budget in terms of percentage when compared to our total cost.
All right, so it looks like the demand for e-commerce and online delivery is on the rise, and it looks like it's going to stay in the long run. So ladies and gentlemen, that's been a discussion on logistics in Thailand. It does really matter. I'd like to take this opportunity once again to thank our guests, Mr. Dave Liu, Director of Business Operations, KERRY Express Thailand Public Company Limited, and also Khun Isriya Paireepairit, Founder and Editor of blognan.com, and also he's the head of public affairs, lineman WONGNAI, kindly joining us via Zoom. So, gentlemen, thank you very much once again. Thank you. And that's it for today's session. We've had a great discussion throughout the day at Thailand MICE Virtual Expo. However, tomorrow, the second day, we have many more topics, so we'd like you to join us. We have 3 topics altogether as the Expo continues. It starts at 3 p.m. Bangkok time with the topic Sustainability, How a Venue Can Drive Organic Society by Kun Arut Nawarat, owner of the world-renowned Suan Sampran, and also he's the leading advocate of organic farming. Then at 4 p.m., we take a look at the Thai food industry, new normal mice business with Mr. Somdet Susomboon. He's the Director General of the Department of International Trade Promotion, Ministry of Commerce. And then at 5 p.m., we dive into the hospitality industry and focus on resetting Thailand's hospitality for the future business events. Kun Marisa Suko Pakdi, President of the Thai Hotel Association, will be here along with Mr. Talon Teng, who's in charge of Royal Paragon Hall and True Icon Hall. And I'll be here to moderate as well, so hope to see you again tomorrow. And that's from all of us. On behalf of TCEP, thank you very much for joining. We'll now say goodbye. Sawadee ka.